thoughts. Hopefully you do good things. Everybody has a competition in their brain of good thoughts and bad thoughts. Hopefully they win. The good thoughts win. For me, I always have both. I have like the thing I believe, the good thing. That's the thing I believe. And then there's this thing.
Risks. That's a weird word. I don't think anybody can pronounce it properly. I mean, you can say risk, but for some reason, when you add that S to it, it just becomes, it just sounds weird. Risks. You sound like a snake. I don't know. If you hear somebody say risks over and over and over again, or if you say it to yourself, it just becomes one of those words. It's just like, that's so weird. Kind of like this podcast. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, to be honest. I don't know. I was watching, what was I watching? I don't know, some YouTube video, and they kept talking about risks. And for some reason, I could not, I couldn't take my focus away from every single time they said that. Risk. Even risk is kind of a weird word, right? Risk. It sounds risky, right? Like there are some words that they sound exactly what they mean. Risk. I don't know. What the hell am I talking about? It's Tuesday. What is it? Fucking the 20th of March, 2018. And as you can see, losing my mind over here. It's because of the fucking rain. There for a second, because I currently live in California, for those of you wondering. And I don't know, like for a second there, it felt like, all right, we're heading back to a drought, and we probably still are. Because it wasn't raining, and it was actually kind of fucking hot most of the winter. But then all of a sudden it just decided, you know what? I'm gonna fucking rain every other day, and when I do rain, it's not gonna be like a downpour, but it's gonna be hard enough where anything that you had planned is gonna be, you're gonna have to sort of reschedule or. Have I turned into the fucking weatherman over here? I don't know. I'm in a weird fucking mood, so excuse me if if the podcast goes off the rails here and there. What the hell's going on? There was another fucking school shooting. Surprise, surprise. I forget where it was at, but apparently, at first they were saying that there was only like fucking injuries, but apparently now somebody's been killed. And I don't know, it was weird. I was watching sorry, I'm eating some popcorn. What the hell was I watching? Or I wasn't watching anything. I was fucking on Twitter. And they were talking about, it was before this or not before the shooting. It was actually at the right after the shooting happened. Of course people were debating it back and forth, oh wait, I know where it came from. I know where I got the fucking, or for where this fucking thought started. Jim Carey apparently painted a picture of, the press secretary for Trump. And, people, of course, are losing their shit. Or at least the Trump supporters are. It's like, oh, how dare he paint a fucking picture that if you look at the painting, it's actually pretty accurate. I mean, the eyes are a little, well, actually, it's not even the eyes. I think it's the mouth that's kind of, I don't know. There's something about it that's just like a tad off, but when you see it, you're like, yep, that's definitely her. And, people, of course, were fucking flinging shit at each other like apes in one of the fucking threads there. And somehow the conversation moved to the NRA, right? That I guess whenever when the kids started protesting, that there was an uptick in NRA membership. And I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but what you always hear after, anytime there's a shooting and the topic of gun reform comes up, for some reason you always hear that people flock to the stores and buy more guns. And can somebody please explain this phenomenon to me? I mean, does anybody realistically, and by anybody, I don't mean the people that have fucking bomb shelters built into their fucking backyard, and have 12 years supply of fucking MREs. Obviously you have lost your goddamn mind. So it's no wonder that you are so paranoid. But is there a rational person out there that realistically thinks that the government is going to take their guns? I know that that's what everybody was afraid of when fucking Obama was in office, and it really didn't make any fucking sense then. But does anybody realistically think, I mean, considering how fucking polarizing a topic gun ownership is in this country, does anybody realistically think the government is ever going to say, you know what, enough with the Second Amendment? We're confiscating your guns. I mean, if you're a rational person and you think that, then chances are you're not that rational. Especially since aside from the fringe crazy people that are that have reactions like, oh, ban all guns, most people aren't calling for a ban on weapons. They're not calling for, everybody's weapon to be taken away. Just that, you make it a little bit harder for the, for the nut jobs to get a hold of one. Yes, there's going to be criminals that steal, and, yes, I know fucking Chicago for some reason is always brought up whenever gun reform is discussed. But most of the mass shooters, at least since fucking as far back as Columbine, well, obviously the kids got their, they stole their parents' guns, but in the cases where they were adults that shot places up, 9 times out of 10 they bought their weapons legally, and they still committed the fucking crimes. So, it just, I don't understand what the big fucking hoopla is against making sure, or at least trying. I think that's the problem, though, right? Is that everybody just sort of, they automatically go into this sort of black and white way of thinking, right? That, like, oh, you put the restrictions on, well, it's not going to stop the gun violence, right? It's not going to stop mass shootings, and then you have the other side. It's like, oh, well, if you ban guns, then this shit'll stop happening. Nobody seems to be able to sort of move into the gray area. Yeah, it probably isn't going to stop mass shootings, but to do absolutely nothing because maybe it won't fucking stop anything is pretty much the definition of insanity, right? I mean, that's basically what we've been doing all along, right? Is trying the same thing over and over again, which is basically do nothing about it. Everybody gets up in arms when it happens, and people yell and scream at each other online, and some people run out and buy more guns and ammo, and others hold vigils and fucking protest. But in the end, we end up doing absolutely nothing, and the same things keep happening over and over again. And I think that most rational people just maybe we should at least try to do something that isn't fucking insane, like arming, unqualified teachers to basically become fucking Rambo. Um, I don't understand the pushback against that. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, it's either you give a shit about the fucking consistency of mass shootings that happen in this country that are starting to become almost every single day, and 9 times out of 10 they involve kids. Either you give a shit about that or you don't. You know, I mean, if you give a shit about it, then I don't know. I don't understand why. If you are one of these people that's fighting against gun reform, I don't understand why you're doing that. Shouldn't we try everything, or at least try something that doesn't involve giving more people guns? Because it doesn't seem to work. I mean, they still have shootings in Texas where people are walking around with guns in their fucking belts. It still fucking happens there. More guns aren't the solution. The solution, obviously, I don't know the exact solution to it, but I'm pretty sure more, giving people more guns isn't really going to do it, because this idea that if everybody's armed, then these people will reconsider what they fucking do is insane. And the reason that's insane, especially when it's teenagers or whatever to show up with a gun, or even college students or whatever, is that most of the time they look at life the same way they look at, or they look at that the same way that they look at, driving their car too fast, right? They don't even think about, like, the possibility that they could end up killing themselves or killing somebody else, right? It's the same logic that somebody that's had a couple of drinks and decides to get behind the wheel because they're confident in their driving skills, and then they end up killing somebody, and it's like, oh, how the fuck could I, what sort of person am I? It's just this idea that people are fucking rational, especially when it comes to I mean, if you've gotten to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm gonna get a gun and I'm gonna shoot everybody, there is you've already sort of lost the ability to be logical. So this idea that that they're gonna be like, well, maybe I shouldn't go out and kill my classmates, or shoot up a fucking a concert, or what have you. If you're already at the point where a gun seems like a reasonable alternative to you, you're already beyond logic, which means if everybody and their mother is fucking armed, you're not really giving a shit about that. 9 times out of 10, the people that fucking go on these mass shootings end up killing themselves anyway. So it's not like they really even care about the possibility of somebody else shooting at them. So this let's arm the fucking teachers, or let's give everybody a gun, it doesn't make any sense. And it just sounds to me more like, you know what, I don't want to be punished for the acts of other people, even if it means sacrificing, somebody else's kids, or, or loved ones. Somebody please that's a adamant fucking, gun owner, that isn't fucking, that doesn't have a shelter built underground, somebody needs to explain to me why you're so unwilling to at least try that, right? Because I think we can all agree that while, yes, you should be able to fucking own whatever it is that you want to fucking own, but that you don't actually need fucking 30 round magazines for your 9mm. That you don't really need semi-automatic rifles. Yeah, I know you want them. I know that they're cool. I'm not, I am not one of these people that doesn't understand gun ownership. I 100% understand it. Guns are fucking awesome. But in the realm of need, a lot of them you don't really fucking need. You don't need an AR-15 for, home protection. You could have a shotgun for that. Shotgun, in fact, is more likely to be a deterrent as far as definitely getting the, doing something about the problem than an AR-15 because, what was it that Bill Burr said that it has not spread? You just fucking point in the general direction of what you're fucking aiming at, and you're guaranteed to fucking get it. Versus an AR-15 that requires, some degree of fucking accuracy and, just you don't need an AR-15 for home protection. If that's what you're claiming that you own these weapons for, you don't need it for that. A shotgun would do just fine. And guess what? A shotgun, aside from like the military versions of them, a lot of them, are not fucking, semi-auto or fully auto or whatever. They're just, you load in a few shells and you fire one at a time. Somebody please explain to me why it is that you're so against just being fucking reasonable. Why does it become this black and white sort of fucking either I must be allowed to own everything, or on the other side you must be allowed to own nothing? I don't understand. Like, why can't people just come together and at least be rational in, at least in their understanding, that if a person has decided to pick up a firearm with an intent to kill people, other people being armed really isn't on their fucking mind. They're not concerned about that because they've already gone to a place where they really can't be, where logic and rationale don't really exist. Because a logical or a rational person would know, you know what? I'm pissed off. This is a shitty fucking situation, but going down to the school or to the movie theater or to the concert and shooting everybody is fucking insane. Rational people are able to make that distinction. I've been pissed off plenty of times in my life. Not one time did I think, you know what would really fucking solve this problem? If I grab my gun and I fucking killed the person that's pissing me. That thought has never crossed my fucking mind. Because I'm not fucking insane. I've done a lot of stupid shit when I've been angry. Not one time have I ever thought about picking up a weapon and, taking out my anger on somebody like that. I've gotten into fist fights. I've, driven my car at speeds that are, a little too fucking fast for conditions. I've done all of those things. They're all fucking stupid, but not one time did I think, you know what would really solve this fucking problem for me? If I fucking killed the person that's pissing me off, or the people that's never crossed my fucking mind, because I am a rational fucking human being, even at my angriest. People that have decided that that's it, I've got to murder these people, there's no reasoning with them. There's no deterrent that you can put in front of them. You can put fucking armed guards, you can give the teachers all fucking weapons, you can do all of those things, and it's not gonna fucking stop it. But what has a reasonable chance of stopping the crazy person that bought their guns legally is gun reform that might fucking be able to sort of weed out some of the crazies. Yes, it'll still happen. Yes, somebody will still lose their shit and do something insane. but I'm willing to bet that it'll happen less often than it does now. And I think that that's pretty much the rationale for for wanting stricter fucking gun laws. I think that fucking logical people understand that, yes, of course, it's not going to end all gun violence, but it does have the chance of, I mean, it's like those fucking nets in the ocean, right? The people that are fucking, I don't know what they're what they're trying to fish for, fucking tuna or salmon and shit. And every now and then they catch a fucking shark, right? They didn't mean to catch the fucking shark, but they caught one. And and depending on how you feel about that, you could look at it like, oh, the poor fucking shark, or you could look at it like, well, you know what, maybe we caught one that was getting ready to fucking bite some lady's arm off, or or kill a fucking kid or some shit. You could, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. But at least you did something. Now, yeah, the intention obviously wasn't to fucking catch sharks. It was to catch fucking salmon. But you see my fucking point somewhere in there, as convoluted as it is. God, is 20 minutes gone by already? I'm just saying that, it's time for people to stop pretending like the answer is more fucking guns, or that the answer is just take everybody's guns away. That neither of those things will work. Okay? Neither of them will work. First of all, the people that are adamant about owning weapons are never going to agree to just give them up. They're just not going to fucking do it. And, on the other end, giving everybody a fucking gun is not a deterrent against somebody that's already decided, I need to kill this person in order to feel better. It's not a deterrent. People still end up dead in places that have open carry. It still fucking happens. I mean, I mentioned Texas earlier. A couple of months ago, a guy at a fucking party killed like 9 people in Texas. A place, or I don't know if he killed 9. He definitely shot 9 people. I'm not sure if all 9 died, but the point is that in a state where everybody is armed, it still fucking happens. So this idea that now if you give guns to fucking teachers that's gonna stop the fucking school shooter, it's essentially like trying to put a fucking band-aid on a bullet wound, as they fucking say, right? It's not going to fucking stop the problem. And of course, I understand, as I've said before, that, gun reform isn't guaranteed to stop all the problems, but it has the possibility of stopping some. And I know what you're going to say. Well, so might be the case with the armed fucking teachers. But, the thing is that one is trying to stop the person before they actually own the gun, and the other is trying to stop the person that already has the gun and has decided to come onto a school campus and shoot people. I prefer to, I don't know, catch them before they actually fucking get the gun in their hands. Call me crazy, but that seems like a better fucking idea than the other. But, I'll get off of this topic. I know that there, people feel strongly on both sides of this fucking argument. And the reality is it's going to keep on fucking happening until people take their heads out of their asses and realize that, going to the fucking extreme either direction is not the goddamn answer. That the answer is and always has been that that gun ownership needs to be harder than it currently is to obtain, and that that the NRA shouldn't have the sort of fucking power that it does in politics when it comes to gun legislation. I mean, anybody that doesn't see a problem with the NRA having a voice at all when it comes to gun reform, then I don't know. You're kind of you're kind of a nut. You're probably one of these people that has a fucking bomb shelter. But anyway, let's get off this goddamn subject. What I don't know. What do you guys want to fucking talk about? Oh, how about the fucking Sex in the City lady that's fucking running for mayor of New York? Um, you know, I don't understand what the fuck is wrong with people, because wasn't the biggest complaint about Trump was that he has no fucking experience. He's never even ran for like fucking dog catcher. And we're obviously seeing the result of having somebody at the highest level of power with zero fucking experience, and really it seems like very minimal understanding of even how government fucking works. Why is it that when it comes to, like, when the right or the Republicans put up their unqualified fucking celebrity ass hat, it's a horrible idea. Oh, how they what fucking experience do they have with this? But then when it comes to people on the left, you guys are getting ready to fucking make The Rock president of the United States based on fucking what? Because he's a nice guy, he has a good smile, he has some fucking muscles. The Sex in the City lady, it seems to me that the only qualification she has for any sort of political office at this point is, I don't know, being having a clam, being a lesbian, and living in New York. That appears to be the level of fucking or I'm sorry, I'll add something else. She made a couple of fucking speeches, about I think it's LBGTV. I don't know the fucking letters. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. She made a couple of speeches, and somehow that makes her fucking qualified. And the crazy thing is that you like these people that are, they're already like, yeah, I'll totally vote for you. And it's like, do you even know how she feels about policies that matter? Where is she on the Medicare for all argument? Well, how does she feel about a living wage, or fucking tuition-free college, or ending the wars, or ending our dependence on oil, and sort of, having a Green New Deal? How does she feel about the things that fucking matter to people? Yeah, I'm sure she was awesome in Sex in the fucking City, but how does that make her qualified to fucking be a mayor of a fucking of a state? How does that qualify her? But the thing is people never see the hypocrisy, right? It's like when it's their guy, awesome, yes, we definitely need this person in power because it's our guy. But when it's the other people's, the other side's fucking guy, it's like, oh, how dare you? This person is not qualified at all. They're, what makes them fucking, what gives them any experience, blah, blah, blah. Does nobody fucking see this shit? Does nobody see the fucking problem with putting celebrity, just not even just the problem, but the fact, if you're just looking at like optics, right? Show me a country that has, that elects fucking leaders that are fucking celebrities. I know that there's a few, obviously fucking like, Manny Pacquiao, he's like a governor or some shit. I don't know what the fuck he is, but show me a country that has as many fucking celebrities dictating policy than this one. We're already a laughingstock because we put a fucking game show host into the highest fucking position. Now you want to start, making fucking celebrities mayors and governors. I mean, at what point are we going to see fucking like... I don't know, who's a ridiculous person to put in charge? Fucking David Schwimmer as fucking governor of Detroit. Not Detroit. Detroit's not a fucking... is Detroit a fucking state? No. Michigan, right? I don't know. Whatever. You understand what the fuck I'm saying. I'm not a geography fucking teacher over here. Can we just stop making stupid fucking decisions in this country? Can we stop trying to put people that we like on TV into positions of power and assuming that that they're gonna be the person that we fell in love with every fucking Friday night at 8 p.m. or whatever. I've never watched one episode of Sex and the City, mostly because I don't really give a shit about the premise sounded fucking stupid, and I really just don't give a shit, right? But I mean, maybe on all of the issues that I mentioned, maybe she agrees with me 100%. That's great. But she still doesn't have the sort of experience that a person should have being a mayor. Now, she wants to run for like city council or I don't know, even be a congressperson. Okay, maybe. But you just skip all of that and move into mayor or governor. I don't know. To me, it doesn't sound like a good idea. But according to a shitload of fucking idiots on Twitter that are excited about this, apparently to them it's a great idea, and the only reason they think it's a great idea is because one, she's a woman, two, she's a lesbian, and three, she's fucking left leaning. That's basically the qualifications that people have decided are all you need in order to dictate policy. And I have a feeling that that she'll fucking win. Right? Whenever the fucking election is, she'll win, and she'll do something stupid, 2-3 years from now, and everybody will be like, what the fuck? And I don't know. What am I even talking about anymore? How long have I been talking? Half an hour? I don't know. Dude, is there anything else I want to fucking talk about? No, not really. All right. I'm gonna end it here. So, I hope you had a good fucking weekend. We keep getting rained out as far as my son. He plays baseball, and other than his game on Sunday, almost every single game since the season started and practice has been canceled due to fucking rain. He's supposed to have practice today, but that's already been canceled, and we have a game against a I said we as though I'm fucking out there. He has a game tomorrow against a team that fucking cheated their way to a win the last time they faced him. So my son is definitely looking forward to that game, and hopefully it doesn't get rained out. But you guys don't give a shit about this. But anyway, all right, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. I'll talk to you again sometime later this week. All right. Just like always, don't take any shit and go fuck yourself. Peace.